All right, it is 10:30 on the West Coast, 10:30 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. So let's go ahead and get this thing started right on time. So welcome to the followmetrades.com live trading room, where we're going to be watching the market reaction to the FOMC, the Fed Open Market Committee's latest announcements and decisions about interest rates and their overall take on the global economy, the U.S. economy. The market quite often has a reaction to that, and it's always fun to watch, and it can present some trading opportunities. So we're going to be here analyzing it and looking for some trades. So thanks for joining, and glad to have everybody here. Boy, we got a lot of people here in the room. So before we get started, I want to make sure you can locate the chat box. So you can type in any questions or comments you have as we go along. You can choose to send your comments just to me. That's the default. There's a little to line, an address line there. You can say to panelists, which is me, or you can make your comments public where it says all panelists and attendees. So why don't you go ahead and locate that and just type in, where are you calling from? Are you what city, what state, what country? It's always fun here as we get started and have a bigger event like this to just see the geographical dispersion, how far people are from Brazil, Ireland, seriously. New York, Columbus. Wow, they're coming in faster. I can read them. Jersey, Israel, nice. Sweden, Alabama, Tahiti, Trinidad, Caribbean, nice. Calling in from, you should be looking at there should be a basic window where you can see my screen. You should see a splash screen here. It says Follow Me Trades, Active Trader, Live Trading Room. And then you can pop open a window here for chat. Moscow, Russia. Oleg's calling from Moscow. Very nice. England, Vancouver, Canada, Elmira, New York. We got people from all over. Liverpool. Yeah, just a reminder, if you want, you can send your comments to me or you can send them to everybody, your choice. Just select that address to panelists or to panelists and attendees, whichever one. All right. A lot of people still logging in, so welcome. And we've got half an hour before the FOMC announcement comes out. So I'm going to explain my trade setups. We're going to look at the current markets, analyze them. I'll explain what I'm looking for. Mr. Awesome is calling in from Johannesburg, South Africa. Outstanding. Juniper, Florida, London, UK. We got several people from UK. Oh, that's nice. Tampa, Florida. Okay. So before we get started, I'm Dean Jenkins, founder of FollowMeTrades.com, and I'm glad, that you accepted my invitation to come here for this trading room. As the Fed announces their minutes, their decisions, again, the market can react and can be pretty interesting, can provide some trading opportunities. But just a quick disclaimer, I'm a trader. Just like you, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm going to offer my opinion on the market and be looking for trades. So any trading opportunities, I will be calling them out. I might just take a live trade in front of you if I find a really good one. In my own account with my own money, not in sim. But whether anybody takes a trade, makes an investment, places an order, of course, that's your decision. You have to be comfortable with the moves you make. It's got to be a good fit for you. And all trading and investing involves risk. And anything any of us, you or me, do, we accept the risk for that. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm providing trading and information and training, and I'm sharing what I do. And whether someone decides to do that or not, of course, their choice. That's fair, right? All right, Tony from Clearwater Beach. Great. We still got people logging in. So we got almost 200 people here. I hope I can keep up with any questions or comments that you have. Later in the session, if we get a little slow point, I'd be happy to analyze any trades that you're interested in looking at. I'm primarily a stock and option trader, but my analysis works on any instrument. But if you got stuff you want to look at later on, have that ready, and you'll be able to type it in take a look and offer my thoughts on it. I'll also share some of my favorite current trades right now, and we're going to be looking at some new ones as the minutes come out. Let me show my basic chart setup here. This is what I use for intraday. So I don't trade futures, but I've got 3 futures charts up here because they give real insight into the market. So I'm tracking on the right-hand side the S&P 500 futures, the E-mini. In the middle, I got gold. On the left, I got the oil futures contract. I'm using a 10-minute chart on top here. I think 10-minute gives us a good intraday trend. I wouldn't take trade setups on day trades off a 10-minute chart. That's too long of an interval. I use some very short-term range bars down below for potential setup ideas intraday. So on the ES, I use a 5-tick range chart, so that's 1.25 points. On the gold, I use 8-tick, and on oil, I use 8-tick as well. So 8-tick range charts on gold and oil. But we look at, again, the intraday trend on a 10-minute chart, and I even like to step back and see what the big trend, where are we at? Where's the market at on a 60-minute? And 60-minute is pretty good for the trend for a week or two. So let's just look at that on the ES here. Where are we at over the last couple of weeks on the ES, right? So we were in a pretty nasty channel, really from the beginning of June, kind of a broad channel, but of course we've broken out of that and we continue to put new historic highs in on the S&P 500. So the S&P 500, as we're looking here on this 60-minute chart, it's pretty clear. It's putting in a series of higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. That is the, according to Hoyle, or at least according to Charles Dow, the definition of an uptrend. And I'm going to talk just a little bit about that in terms of a tool that I use. But the 60-minute S&P 500 is clearly in an uptrend. Now is, when Janet Yellen and her crew come out, are they going to throw some cold water on that and slow it down, turn it around? Or are they going to throw some fire on that, some gas on that fire and accelerate it? Well, we won't have to wait long for an answer. We're going to know that probably in about 20, 30 minutes. All right, so S&P is in an uptrend, unmistakable. Is it over? Will it keep going? Well, don't know that. Don't know that. It's a fairly mature trend on that time frame. That is true. And here on the 10-minute chart, we can see a little bit of evidence of it starting to pull back. The indicators here on my chart, let me pop that back out so you can see it a little better. People quite often ask about the indicators I've got going on here, so let me cover that. And you can bet as soon as I cover it, somebody will log in right afterwards and go, hey, what are those indicators on your chart? That's all right, I'll explain it again. So down here at the bottom, I've got, this is a price oscillator. It's called the optimum wave locator. You can see this pink dot is suggesting where Elliott wave 3 might be. This is an indicator provided by traderscoach.com. I've got the Ichimoku cloud. You can see I've got it in the background. I've changed the factory colors. I just like green and red. Green and red makes sense to me, up or down, right? So I use Ichimoku cloud, and I primarily use Elliott wave as my analysis. Very simple, very repeatable version of Elliott wave, right? Big impulsive move, correction, next impulsive move. That's all we're looking for. 3 trade setups. So I got the optimum wave locator. I've got Ichimoku cloud on here, and I've got these pyramids, which are again from traderscoach.com. And you heard me talk about higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So these pyramids are indicating very unique higher high, higher low, or lower low, lower high sequences in a trend, and provide some outstanding entry points and stop placement points. So those are called pyramid trading points. And that's basically the indicators I use. Again, my analysis is primarily based on Elliott wave, and I confirm trend direction, trend change, and potential support resistance areas with Ichimoku cloud. So that's my my primary analysis method. All right, so yeah, Dean Anthony, we got a nice name there, Dean. Wants to repeat the chart range bar settings for the instruments. Yeah, so and just to be clear, I'm not trading the S&P 500 gold and oil futures contracts. I'm watching them for insight into the market direction, if gold gives a good setup, or if oil gives a good setup, or ES, I'm going to go take that trade on an ETF with an option, more likely than not. And we also look at individual stocks, gold mining stocks, oil stocks, and stuff like that. So I'm not trading futures. I use futures to watch the market. But the range bar settings on ES are 5. I'll even show you I don't know if you're on TradeStation or not, but the settings here, it's a range bar type chart. The range is 1.25 using a 1-tick interval. So that's 5 ticks, right, for a 1.25 point move. I'm using 8 ticks on gold, 8 ticks on oil. Gold is a 10-cent tick, oil is a 1 penny tick, of course. Milan is asking me, why don't I trade futures? A couple of reasons. I'm not a day trader. I hold my trades at least typically 2 days. For short term for me is 2 days to a week, and then long term trades for me are 4 weeks to 6 weeks. And so I don't really like to day trade intraday. So futures, I'm not comfortable holding futures positions overnight. So that kind of rules futures out for me. Pat is asking, what ETF do I find correlating to oil? USO is I think it's a reasonable proxy as long as you understand that USO is not trading around the clock when oil is. So that's the missing piece, right? And any equity related thing, whether it's a stock or a ETF, isn't going to trade around the clock like the futures contract. So you have to be aware that there's going to be, 2/3 of the oil trading period eliminated from an ETF. So I think it works better on higher time frames. It does not work that well intraday. So that's my take on it, Pat. And I know you're a very experienced trader. You could disagree with me. XLE is pretty broad, right? XLE is the energy sector, so it's not just the commodity. Okay, good questions coming in. So let me talk about my trade setup. So I have a trade the news setup when big news comes out, and I'll go ahead and show that to you. So typically, quite often when news comes out, when big news comes out, there's going to be a big impulsive move. So there it is. After news comes out, and this is a S&P E-mini 2-minute chart, right? Big initial move after some news comes out. I look for a Fibonacci retracement. So after that impulsive move, can we get a retracement into a Fibonacci retracement zone between 38.2 and 61.8? If we can get that, and we get evidence of the trend turning, I'm going to talk about evidence about that, right? Then there's a pretty good chance we're going to have another continuation of this trend, maybe even bigger. So the entry point can be here aggressively or down here conservatively when it takes out that previous low. Here's what it looks like on a bullish move. So there's the initial move on news up from here. There's the retracement into a Fibonacci retracement zone, 38.2 to 61.8, and boom, there's the conservative entry, the aggressive entries down here, and I'll tell you why in a minute. And here's what we use to confirm that a trend is ended, changed, begun, reversed. Use Dow theory, right? Charles Dow developed this back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, around the turn of that century. And what Mr. Dow said was, you got an uptrend. This is a very narrow slice of his theory. He had a lot more to say. But in an uptrend, you got higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. And as long as that pattern is continuing, you have an uptrend and hasn't ended, right? That's important to know because prices don't move in a straight line, right? And so when you get a move up and then it pulls back, you go, is this trend still going? Is it over? Well, it's not. As long as it doesn't take out the previous low and eventually goes on to make a new high, the uptrend is intact. Same thing for a downtrend, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. Trend is intact as long as it continues to put in new lows and does not take out previous lower highs. Price go above it. That's what I mean by take it out. So when it ends, uptrend, right? First, it's confirmed with 3 data points, a high, a higher low, a new high. That confirms, right, gives you a strong probability of a new trend beginning. When you get those 3 data points, a high, higher low, new high, right? Trend carries on, it's over. in a classic move, and you get a lower high, doesn't put in a new high, and then takes out the previous low. Price goes below that. Pretty good chance that that bullish trend has ended. Bear trend, 3 data points, low, lower high, new low. Trend carries on. All of a sudden, it does not put in a new low, takes out the previous lower high. Trend's probably over. Okay. So that's why I say if I go back a slide, right, an aggressive entry here could be, here's the high, higher low. As soon as we go one tick above new high, and even in a little miniature move here, right, confirmation of this correction ending with a high, higher low, new high, you could take a very aggressive entry here, taking out this previous high as more conservative. So that's how that works on a real chart. Okay, I do use Elliott Wave, a very simple version of it. I have 3 trade setups, right? It's I'm trying to trade wave 3 to catch a breakout into a new trend. If wave 3 has already happened, I'm going to try and trade the retracement if there's enough profit in it after it's proven itself. And we'll look at lots of live charts and talk about proof, but it's using that Dow theory approach. Or I'll trade the continuation, right? You get an impulsive move, a correction, a continuation. Those are the only 3. Those are the only 3 trade setups I'm really looking for. I'll take them on a bullish trade, or I'll take them on a bearish trade, right? So, you can look at lots of approaches to Elliott Wave. Some of them are ridiculous, right? The classic approach has 144 different signal permutations, combinations. It's like who could possibly understand or remember all that? Not me, but I can remember 3 trade setups. Pretty easy. All right. So that's the basic setup I'm looking for. Now we got about 13 minutes till the open. We got comments coming in. Remember, in the chat thing, you can either send it to me just by having panelists, all panelists in the address line, or if you want the whole group here, 200 plus people, to see your comments and have them respond, go ahead and just select all panelists and attendees. It's kind of an open forum, got nothing to hide. So LP saying, love the STX move. Yeah, so we've been short Seagate for a long time, a relative long time. We've been short Seagate since early June, and I actually took a little heat for going short on Seagate on a forum on Stock Twits. I posted it, said, hey, I think I like this short on Seagate, and said, yeah, you're nuts, right? It's a great company, great fundamentals. I could care less. It's got a great bearish setup. And what do I mean by that? Here's this big impulsive move. And I said, I'm only looking for 3 trade setups, right? This is wave 5. Let me get my chart right. There we go. Here's this big impulsive move. This is so clearly a wave 3. You don't need too much training to go, where's the big dramatic price move on this page? Well, it's right here. Bam. Crushed, right? And then it reversed. It corrected from that move into a Fibonacci retracement zone between these 2 blue lines. Aha. 3, 4, right? All the way up to here, actually. That's all 4. Now I look for evidence. Is it going to be continued, right? I use Fibonacci retracements for the correction. I use Fibonacci extensions for the continuation. So did the trend turn around? Well, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, broke down below the Ichimoku cloud. Looks like it's starting to me. We've got a target zone down here below 2079, all the way down to, it ain't going down to $2, by the way, right? The extensions on a lower price stock can project a little bit unrealistically low. So I got my target set here at 2047, right above the previous low. So I think that's a pretty conservative price target. So we got into this, it's working its way down. We got short at 4106. It's working its way down. We're pretty happy. They announced earnings yesterday. Boom! It was down 20% at one point, and got back up. Now it was closed down about 16 and a half, and it's down another 2.5 today. So don't you love that when you're in a short position and it gaps down like that? How fun is that? So we're in What on the shares? We're at a 20.99% profit on that. On the options, I prefer to trade with options. I publish both to my service. Here's the option trade. Here's the shares trade. 74.55% profit on the option position. I'll take that. It's pretty nice. Can you still get into Seagate? It's getting a little sketchy, right? And the way you figure that out is here's the current stop, and we can't move that stop yet. There's nowhere to move it to. So from current price right here, the distance between this and the stop and this and the target, they're getting pretty close to equal. So the reward to risk on this trade isn't that stellar anymore. It's approaching 1-to-1. I don't like 1-to-1 trades, right? Yeah, catch up on my questions here. So, Yi, I hope I'm saying your name right. How do I use future patterns for stock trading? Just looking for market direction. If I see a great trade setup, like I just pointed out what a great setup looked like for me on STX. If I see that on the S&P 500, gold or oil, I can go trade simply, the SPY, the S&P 500 ETF. I can go trade GLD, or for oil, I can go trade USO, or one of the 3X or 2X bearish bullish. So if I see good patterns, good setups on any of these markets, I can then go place a trade on some equity instrument. Yeah, absolutely, you're right. So Nina says some don't follow the market like Tesla and Netflix. What's my take on that? Well, thank goodness. Thank goodness, because if every stock followed the market, I wouldn't have very many to trade. Because for me, the S&P 500 on a daily chart, let's just pull this up, right? Keep an eye on the clock too. We don't want to get too far off track and then miss the deal here. Let's even switch this to a weekly, right? I don't chase trends. I try to catch, I told you I got 3 setups. I try to catch a new impulsive wave, a correction, or a continuation, right? S&P 500 weekly chart. This is an incredibly mature trend, started back in 2009. Been going on for years, So way too late for me to think about going long, S&P 500. Maybe for an intraday, not an intraday, but a 60-minute chart. Maybe there's a little move to catch. I'd be okay with that, but not like a longer term trade. Way too late on the S&P 500. So back to your question, Nina, right? Some charts, some stocks don't seem to move with it. And I say thank goodness, because that means there's other trades to take, right? And we're taking long trades, we're taking short trades, going both directions, and we're pretty profitable. I'll talk about that in a little while. Yeah. Why do I draw the little triangles, and why should you? I don't. They're an indicator that I introduced that. You probably hadn't logged in yet there, Keeter. But they call out particular higher high, higher low sequences and give you some pretty good entry points and support levels for stops. How do I generally trade the FOMC? So again, I showed my setup here. What I'm looking for is, whichever way it goes, an initial move, a retracement, and then a continuation, and that can give us an entry. Okay. Do I see S&P? And no, S&P is still in a wave 3, impulsive wave 3. Hey, you bet, Nina. Oh, Keeter, no problem. I'm not thin-skinned. Yeah, you don't sound like a troll. Trust me, I've had some trolls. Okay, we're about 5 minutes out from the S&P 500, and so let's get focused here on the charts. We'll get our futures chart up. Now, oil already did its thing. The oil inventory report came out this morning. Inventory was down. Oil shot up and then retraced more than 100%. So that wasn't really a tradable move on oil this morning. But gold and the S&P 500, and other things, interest rate, bonds, dollar, whatever. But I focus on S&P and gold for a reaction to the FOMC announcement. So let's watch these real close, and then we're going to give it, 5 or 10 minutes to let it settle, and then see if there's a trade set up. And if nothing really comes out of the FOMC announcement, and there's no, you know, uh, S&P 500 or gold related trade, fear not, because I've got a handful of other equity trades that we're just waiting to get past the FOMC announcement, and we're going to be taking a look at those and see if they make sense. So we're going to get some trades today. If you hang out, I will be probably taking them in my own account right here in front of you. Um, if the setup's still good, right? If the setup is still good. I see if a handful of folks have their hands raised. I don't know if you got a question, type it into the chat box. That way I can see your question and address it. And so I don't know if you had a question or you're just playing with the buttons, which is cool. I'm going to go ahead and lower all the hands, and then go ahead and type your question in. Anthony, was there going to be a recording? Dean Anthony, yeah, cool name. It's a good question. I said I'm looking here at the futures. This is just a peek into the market. This is not by any means the only thing I do. I've got several approaches to scanning. We do it in my live trading room pretty much every day. So we're tracking in the live trading room. We've got plenty of trades. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 open trades that we're in. By the way, all of them in profit except one, which is down just a little bit there. And those are open trades. And then we've got a watch list of trades here, of trades we're waiting to trigger that we see if they meet the final criteria. So we're finding plenty of trades that don't have anything to do with the S&P 500. Do I think there's market? Is there manipulation from the biggest players, maybe the cryptocurrencies? Yeah, I think the market's too big, right? Small, thinly traded things, specialty things, they can probably be manipulated. Be careful, very careful of thinly traded futures, right? But when you're talking about the S&P 500 or gold or oil or stocks that trade, several million shares per day, I think it's very hard for a single individual to manipulate it. Of course, there's exceptions to everything, but I don't worry too much about it. The FOMC trade, if we get a good setup, I'm going to be looking at a 1 to 2 day, 1 to 2 day trade. I don't trade intraday. Tracy says a little early nervous move down in ES. Yeah, it's been doing that all day. It really hasn't picked a direction or gone in any kind of trend. Starting here, it's sort of got a downtrend. It's broke through the cloud. But let's see. We got about, and it's funny. I don't really care what the Fed. I mean, I care as a citizen, as an American, and big picture kind of thing. I care what the Fed says. But in terms of my trading, you know what? The only reality in the market is price and volume. Those are two realities that are indisputable. So I'm more interested in what the collective market response is to the FOMC decision than what they say. They can say whatever they want, right? If anybody's watching that real close and wants to make comments, that'd be great. It's always interesting. I'm interested in what they have to say, but I'm more interested from a trade perspective in how the market reacts. Hey there, Dean Anthony. Thanks. Said he loved my approach. Gonna listen in the car. Gotta head out. That's cool. Yeah. Gavin says thought Ichimoku cloud was mainly used on JPY pairs. No, that's not true. It's used on all instruments. Yeah, it's not just limited. Just because it was created by a Japanese guy doesn't mean it only works on Japanese currency pairs. No. Okay, well, it is 2 o'clock sharp on the East Coast, and so the news is out. Everybody's reading it, scanning, and there we go. Milan, rates unchanged. Cater, never heard that before. Is Ichimoku Cloud any good? I like Ichimoku Cloud. I don't think it's a standalone trading system. I think it lacks some real things. I've got a whole webinar I do on East meets West, how I use Ichimoku Cloud and Elliott Wave together. I think it's a helpful tool. I don't think it's good on its own. And it's really good for trend confirmation and projecting. You can see the cloud's projected several bars out in the future. Potential support and resistance areas. But we got to back that up with another analysis. Well, there goes gold. Now, gold might be interesting. Let's keep an eye on that. We're not going to take anything here in the first, don't have your finger on the trigger because we're not going to trade that fast. I'm not a day trader. We'll look for trends to form and get confirmed here. We'll have time for trades. But look at gold rock. That's pretty nice. That's a strong move. That's an impulsive move. So if that corrects, there actually may be corrects and then starts again. There may be a gold trade related. If it just shoots up and goes, it's too late, right? I teach. Don't chase trends, man. Don't try to catch a falling knife. Don't try to chase a trend up. Right? Get a bloody nose. And Keter, I hope I'm saying your name right. Cater. Correct me. I hate messing up a name. Mark, if PM breaks 50 MA, I don't use moving averages, Mark, so I can't really comment. I've got these, the Ichimoku lines here, Tenkan, Kaijun. They're similar to moving averages, but I'm more concerned with the cloud. So, and I'm not sure PM, is that a symbol you're looking at? We can take a look at that in a bit. We'll start looking at some stock symbols here. But again, 50 moving average doesn't do anything. It's not part of my trading system. My trading system works for me. It's profitable. It's not the only one in the world that is. Individuals' trading system has to make sense to them. They have to trust it in order to follow the rules. And I do for mine, and a lot of my subscribers are pretty happy with it. Let's just watch for a minute here. So gold, let's take a look at this on a 60-minute chart. So what we're really looking at here with gold is a pretty bearish scenario. Here was the big impulsive move first. It's even off the screen. Let me get some more data compressed onto here. There we go. So there's what we're looking at. There's the big bearish move down back June through the middle of July. Then a retracement. Now it looks like the next move down is beginning. That's the current thesis. It's up a little bit today, but what will be interesting to see over time here over the next couple of days if it actually breaks through this cloud or if it reverses at the cloud, because the cloud is predicting resistance and it's increasing. It's getting thicker and thicker, so that's more resistance. So what the overall indicators are saying is, yeah, we got a little move up here, but it's predicting some resistance and a reversal and this trend to continue down. So I would not be trying to get a long trade on gold unless it breaks the cloud up here, puts in new highs, and blows the whole thesis out of the water. We're probably a ways from that. So I don't really have I would have been interested in a short on gold if that had showed up, but I'm not interested in a long at this point on gold. So ES was heading down most of the day. Now it's poking up against the cloud. So again, the cloud's predicting some resistance. So what that means is the cloud, the indicators are saying, hey, we think it's going to reverse from here. If it blows through it and we get a price bar starting to close above this cloud, then it's wrong and something completely new is going on. So we're 5 minutes out from the announcement. Let's give it 10. And then in 10 minutes, I've got a handful of trades that I've been looking at, and I may go take. Meanwhile, if you've got some symbols that you are interested in, I'd be happy to analyze those now while we're letting the announcement get absorbed and the market respond to it. So I think we had someone saying PM. Let's take a look at that. Philip Morris. So that's for Mark. So what we got on Philip Morris is, you can see I already had this chart marked up. I already was looking at it. We almost traded that. We traded was it Altria or whatever the other tobacco company is instead, and we got a big win out of that. So there was 3, there was 4, now we got a new 3. Next move here is probably going to be a correction down. So get my scale set here, see if my momentum is growing. So my momentum in the up moves is dropping. See that? It's called bearish divergence. And we're starting to get some down moves, right? We got a lower low, lower high. If we get a new low, it's going to happen right under this cloud. And so that could be a new short. Now, it's not ready, but we would be taking an entry somewhere down here, and we would start with a stop loss. That's what these lines are. Blue's entry, red's a stop loss, right? And this looks like it correction could be happening down to this zone here between 109.38 and 100. So that's what I think about PM. Wow, a lot of symbols came in. P from David. Symbol P. Must be a NYSE. Pandora. Pandora's had a bit of a tough run here, hasn't it? So what this looks like, look how this bottom, this double bottom, almost to a tick, right? Did put in a new low, but pretty close. So it had a 5-wave sequence down. You know, there was 3, there was 4, there was 5. It looks like a new trend may be forming to the upside. It has broken the cloud. So, you know, you could take a flyer on that one and go long on this now. It's a new trend, and new trends are hard to predict targets on. But if it truly is a new trend, it could be big. I'm not crazy about it because I can't get a target on there, but it's not a bad long. All the criteria is met. But I'll just be clear, I'm not taking it. And again, the primary reason is my lack of ability to get a target, and I see some potential resistance points not too far away. There's one right there that it could hit resistance, and there's one right there. And you know, at the current price of about $10, those are a little too close. So that's going against it as well. SKT. Tanger Factory Outlet Centers. Well, they've had a bad year, huh? But this one's getting ready to correct, showing really, really good signs that it's going to correct. So the impulsive move was down, bearish, looking for a correction up. Now, by the time it breaks this cloud up here, there's not much room left into the correction zone, so that's a problem. I want enough room, enough profit left. So interesting wave. Interesting chart. It was worth looking at. Thank you for bringing it up. But ultimately, I don't think there's enough profit in that trade after it gets validated. Too early for me to go in. I want to see some real proof that it's going to go up. We don't have it just yet. So that was SKT. Alibaba. We traded Alibaba earlier this year. It was an absolute home run. I think it's over. And that's Gary. Yeah, it's over. What a beautiful run. We took an entry here. Took it up, got stopped out on this little outsized price bar, but it was still, you know, it was like an 18% winner. I'll take that. It went on to run. That's fine. It happens, right? That doesn't make me change my system. by that time. So now it really is. That's a very mature trend. Beautiful trend, but very mature. Too late to go long on Alibaba. No evidence of it turning around yet, though. Too early to try and get short. You'll hear me say that just about every time. Evidence, 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 right? I don't trade based on any one thing, but it's the collective picture, the wave count, the Ichimoku cloud, the risk to reward. I bring about 5 things to bear on a trade, and if they're all lining up, then it's a phenomenal trade. But that's where it's evidence, right? You can build a solid legal case even just based on circumstantial evidence. You don't have to have physical evidence as long as it's strong and it all points the same direction. That's what we're looking for in trades. Strong evidence pointing at something clear. OIH, yeah, it's not a super clear chart. We got an impulsive move this way and a correction that went way too deep to be a wave 4. So I can't really do anything with it. Nothing there for me. Sorry about that, Bruce. MO. So that was the tobacco stock we traded, MO, as opposed to Philip Morris. You can see here my markup on my charts is always the same. Blue line's the entry, red line's the stop, green line's the target. So we took an entry at $67. We took our exit up here around 75.94. We trailed it up. So it was a big winner. That's a nice winner. So after the 5 waves, there's wave 3, 4, 5. Got a kind of an ABC as correction. I don't know what's going to happen next. So nothing there for me. We caught the part we wanted to catch, and that's that. What about Facebook for a call option, Brian? So Facebook is announcing after the close, and I don't trade right into earnings. I think that's a gamble. It's 50-50. What are they going to say? How's the market going to react to it? I don't know the answer to either of those questions. Right? Afterwards, if it starts down, we have time. Look at Facebook. We don't have to catch the initial move. Right? How far would Facebook correct if Facebook corrected, right? It's got a target zone down here if it begins a wave 4 from 132 to 112. So if bad news comes out, starts down, I got plenty of time to try and get short on this. I don't have to try and catch the initial move, right? I can't call the top, I can't call the bottom, but I can trade a wave and be totally happy with it. If we go back to MO, right? When we got long on this, we didn't catch it when it very first began. We looked for evidence, higher high, higher low, new highs. That's evidence. Indicators are turning positive. We got a good wave count. All right, we got a good reward to risk ratio. Everything pointed. We took a trade here, caught this whole move. So we don't have to worry about catching, the day of. So I don't trade into earnings is the short answer. Again, because it's 50-50, and I need a better edge than 50-50. BIIB. Biogen, bit of a rocky one, huh? It's trying to correct. It's got some previous highs here to deal with. Big high price thing. Let me show you. I like the sector. Okay, I like the sector a lot. Let me show you a trade we're in that sector, biotech, smaller cap, that I like a lot. It's got a lot of room to get in. It's IPXL. Okay. We got long on IPXL at 1648. Here it is, 1933. We got a price target on this thing at 2451. So there's still room if you look at the distance from here to the stop versus here to the target. This is 2 or 3 times bigger. Still got good reward to risk on it. So IPXL is a nice trade. Still got some room in it. I'm trading that with the September 1250 call. That's my play on it. And you might like Gilead. Now Gilead is going to announce tonight, so I wouldn't trade into that. We've actually taken profit because we got into this thing 67.70. It's up at $74. We took half our position off, took profit. If it jumps, that's great. We'll get some profit. If it drops, if it really gaps, we'll still have profit. It's not going to gap down to our stop, I don't think. So we're just trying to be a little conservative here. But after the earnings, if it's still got a good room to the target on here. Gilead's a nice play too on the larger cap biotech. So there you go. Wow, I got a lot of questions. I got to get caught up. Teva, yeah, we're in Teva. It's struggling. It's struggling just a little bit. That's Greg. TEVA. Still like it. It just hasn't exploded yet. We're hoping it does. It's getting ready though. It's nice. Higher high, higher low, new high. Momentum building. Got a great target up to 42.69. Stops down here at 29.91. I still like it. And it's in profit today. So that's awesome. Let's go back and look at is the S&P 500 ready for a short following news? No, not yet. Not yet. So the 10-minute chart, look, it bounced up against the cloud. But when we look at the 60-minute, let's go to 60. Come on, is TradeStation going to do this thing? Yep, it's going to do that thing. Really? Oh. Still bullish, right? It hasn't, so we got a lower low. We got a high, higher low, new high. Hasn't even taken out this low yet. It hasn't broken through the clouds. There's really no case yet on a time frame that I'm comfortable with getting confirmation for a short here. The FOMC announcement looks like it was a, what's the current term? Vernacular being floated? A nothing burger. Looks like the FOMC announcement pretty much fell flat. What'd they say? No change. So, and gold's going to go challenge my bearish thesis, but we got a line up here we said it had to hit first before that was true. Let's check back on the 60-minute on gold. Yeah, it would have to cross this line. This is actually up here. There's the actual top. It would have to take that out before it would blow the bearish thesis, but it is up above the cloud, so it's showing some evidence that it may be gonna destroy this bearish thesis. It's all right. We're not trading it, right? We would have waited for it to go down before we went short, so nothing lost there. Get caught up here. Brad would like to look at pi. Let me keep this over here so I can keep an eye on this thing in case something interesting happens. But again, I think the FOMC announcement was a bit of a nothing. But hey, we're still doing some good stuff here, right? We're gonna get you some trades. PI. Impinge. I wonder what they do. It's got an impressive trend. Doubled, right, from about 25 bucks up to about 50. I think it's a little late to try and catch that. So you'd have to wait and see if you could get a correction and trade it down, and it hasn't shown any proof of that yet. Hun. Same story. Beautiful trend. Huntsman Corporation. We will be looking for a correction on this. There was a pretty big move here. If it does not put in a new high, if it reverses before there and goes down below here, you probably got you a downtrend and you got probably a nice correction beginning. It is way too late to go long on a trade like this. And the correction looks like it could land down here between 20 and 15. So that's pretty nice. I'm making note of that one there, Steve. Thank you. I'm going to look at a couple more, then I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you mine. Donna. Oh, is those two pets in Rio? Let me do it real quick. Looks like 5. So there's 3. I think we made enough of a correction for to be a 4. Yep, we made it into the correction zone. So it looks like 5 is underway. And wave 5 target, the continuation up here above $51, 51 to 60. So that's not too bad there, Donna. Rio Tinto PLC. No idea what they do. Oh, so that was it. Pets is Rio, right? Or did I? Sorry, pets. Too many symbols. Pet, okay. Well, what a beautiful trend. It's exploding. It's way too late to get in. No sign. So too late to go long, way too early to go short. My trade setup looks for these right here, coming out of this narrow channel and exploding. We would have taken a long right there and been happy about it too. But where were you a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago, Donna? We would have taken that one. Costco. Costco is a mess. It's sort of had an impulsive move here. It's correcting down here already. That's a really sloppy, chaotic chart, so I would not try to trade that. Russell 2000. Why don't we just do IWM? Somebody asked about that as well. Right, that's the Russell, isn't it? Russell ETF. Yeah. Well, Russell is kind of like the S&P. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, record highs, putting in a high. So it's, for me, too early, too late to go long, too early to go short. No evidence of it pulling back yet. AMD, I'd like to look at that. I keep seeing headlines about their new processor, how great it is, and how they're gonna manhandle Intel. I used to work for Intel, so it's curious. So they're in wave 5, right? 3, 4, 5. They got a target above 1820. Very tradable right now. Big gap up today. So don't be surprised even if you got long on that if it pulled back a little bit before heading up. So, but that's a nice long on AMD. So Brad saying you got into what? You maybe had an earlier message. What'd you get into, Brad? TI. Okay, I think we looked at that. You got in at 27.88. Well, good on you. You got in down here. Seriously, man. I would have a stop. See how it's starting to consolidate up here? It's been a beautiful run. Personally, I would have a stop under this low, the low of this price bar, this elongated price bar right there. If it goes below that, you're probably beginning your correction. So that's about 48.93. That's how I would play it. Of course, it's your money. You do what you want. Are we in wave 4 on Google? GOOG. I don't think that's the symbol, right? Oh yeah. I get messed up between GOOG and GOOGL. We're not in wave 4 yet. It's trying to start it. And look at this. It had a pullback right down and found support at the bottom of the cloud, went up. It did not put in a new high. So as long as it reverses, stays below that high, breaks the cloud, we're probably going to head into wave 4. No evidence yet. There's early evidence. There's no conclusive evidence where we can go short, but watch this really closely. If we start getting priced down below here, that's a go. Take out that low, we got us a nice short on Google. Okay, last one. Okay, two more, no more. XLV and Tesla. Let's do them. XLV is a sector ETF. Forget which sector it is, but we'll know in a minute here. Healthcare. Be a little careful, right? So big bullish run. Who knows what the Congress is going to do, what the Senate's going to do, and it has a huge impact, of course, on this sector and many others. And there's no trade for me here anyway. You heard me say it's too late to go long, it's too early to go short, and that's the case here on XLV. Let's look at Tesla. So Tesla, we've looked at about 3 or 4 charts like this. You know, big impulsive move up. We actually traded this move down here on Tesla. It was spectacular. We hit a home run. We traded that on a 60-minute chart, by the way. So here's the results from my trading room. And I know several of my trading room members are here, and they can testify. We're actually really calling these out real time. Many of these trades I don't take every trade, and I'm clear about that, right? I can't. I'm calling out more trades than anybody has capital for, so I'm providing ideas. But if I call it out and say it's a good trade, I track it. You know, I hold myself accountable to the results of that. So we took Tesla back on June 28th. We held it until June 11th, right, short. And in a $50,000 account, we made 2,500 bucks in 13 days. It was a nice short. Year to date on these, we've since March, I've started a new tracking method, new approach to the trading room. So since March, we've closed 26 trades. We're winning 54%. This is a more important stat, 2.2 payout ratio, so 2.2 to 1. So the average winner is over twice the size of the average loser. So the portfolio is up 23% in March, April, May, June, and half of July. So pretty pleased with those results. And I just wanted to share that. So Tesla, big move down. We caught that. It's heading back up. It may find some resistance. If it reverses again, it may go deeper into this zone down here, but it hasn't proven its next move down yet. So got to watch for that. Mark, do I teach my system? Yeah. So in the trading room, I explain to you, just like I'm doing here, what we're looking for in the trade. But to go deep, I have a course, right? I call it the Master Trader Training Course. We're just getting ready to kick off the next series, 6 weeks. It's going to start next Thursday, August 3rd. So you go through 6 weeks with me. I give you tons of study guides, training videos, and then once a week, a live session like this where we go step by step. We build a basis for the theory and then the trading plan and risk management and options and all that stuff. And it's a 6-week thing. So watch your email. I'll be beginning to promote that later this week. Well, thank you, Yi. Is it outlined in an if-then format? You mean the picks? I mean, like the trades on our watch list. We have like here it says on CSX. This is a railroad stock, right? We're looking for an entry price of 50.32, and if that hits, if we hit, we're going to enter that trade law short, and we've got an option contract, so you can go with the shares or the option. Some of these we say, hey, we're going to watch after the FOMC. After it triggers, let's come back and review it. So there's notes here on what we're doing. Okay. All right. Karen says she's had a great week. Karen's been an apt student. She took the course and she's following along in the trading room and is consistently profitable. HC, I buy puts and calls. I do not trade spreads. And there's a whole rationale behind that. But the short answer is buying puts and calls is lower risk, higher profit. And I can justify that. Hey, go have a good round there, Robert. So I'll give you, so I'm interested in this trade, NSC. So this is one of my favorites. We said, hey, let's wait until after the FOMC to see if this one still makes sense. And this was a short trade, and this one still does make sense. This is very nice. So this is a railroad, Norfolk Southern. I just want to check a couple things before I take this trade, and then I'm going to take it right in front of you. Put it on. So I want to know when the earnings release is. I don't want to trade right into earnings. So I don't want to take a trade today and go, oh, they're releasing after the close. So Norfolk Southern, great website here is Earnings Whisper. You can type in a symbol. Oh, look, they announced this morning. So earnings are over. So that's good news. And then I want to do a quick headline scan to make sure they're not going into Chapter 11. Isn't a pending M&A something highly disruptive? I can just go to Yahoo. Really has a nice service just for if you just want a profile and headlines and quick thing. You know, kind of. No, no, no. In SC, Norfolk Southern. Average daily volume, that's great, 1.6 million. That's plenty. Headlines, beats forecast. This is why I'm not a fundamental trader, right? Beat forecast. Nice, down 2.5%. Da, 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 da. Winning customers from CSX. Well, we're looking at a trade in CSX too. Yeah, so there's no big pending bankruptcy or M&A. Earnings are out, so I like it. And my I didn't have an option contract to find on this one yet, so let's get it. NSC. So my choices really come down to September or December. So September, I want plenty of time to let this trade play out before I get out of it and sell it for hopefully a profit. I'm not exercising or anything. I don't want to buy it at a low price and sell it for a high price. That's my objective. So I want time. And September is not going to give me enough time. So it's in this cycle where they don't have a November. So I'm looking at a put, of course, and I'm going to scan my criteria. Boy, these are expensive. These are really expensive. Not happy about this. Yeah, September's too close. So not good. So I can only get one of these. I'm going to take a one with the higher delta. Pretty tight spread. So I'm going to go ahead and take the 135. I like to be deep in the money. I want a high delta. I want plenty of room on the contract. It's got open interest. This is good. No, the FOMC was a wash, man. Yeah, I mean, the implied volatility, look at the implied volatility here. But I'm more focused on the delta. I want a high delta so when it goes my way, I make more profit. People ask me all the time, why would you spend $2,000 on a contract when they got them for $90? Because the $90 contracts are barely going to change in price if the thing moves. These are going to change a huge amount. I'd rather have one contract that doubles rather than 10 contracts that go up 10%. It seems like a simple approach. Oh, no, I don't want 5 of those. I want 1 of those. There we go. So look at my risk to reward. Potential max reward 11,000. Potential risk, if it were to expire, worthless, which is not going to happen. I'm going to manage the trade. I got a 5-to-1 reward to risk ratio. Order rejected. It's probably the wrong increment. So let's go look here. Orders. Window, view, order bar. Not a valid price increment. Okay, probably trades in tens. There. So I got it at 2080. So I'm in that NSC position now. I'm pretty happy about it. That's my live account. Up my sleeve. Okay, so I like that one. And we got a nice price target down here. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to have a stop set up here. So if the price goes up and it takes out this previous high, I'm going to get out of this trade. Right, here's my entry right here. And here's my target down into here. And you can see I got about a 2-to-1, 1.5 to 2-to-1. So I got a nice reward to risk ratio on this. So there we go. FX redemption. We can see your comments. There's no cameras here. Okay, so yeah, so the FOMC news was pretty much a wash on the market. Didn't really, but we wanted to get through it before we started laying new trades in, just in case there was some disruptive move. Gold made a bit of a move, but it's stopping for now. ES, um, it was in a bit of a downtrend, took out some minor highs here. It's stalled up here at the cloud on the 10-minute chart. I don't think anything's really important is happening here on the market. Bond market is reversed. Okay, bearish since the beginning of the week. Any big moves on our open trades? Let's pay attention to that. Our open positions. Man, we're in Hertz. This is a nice trade. 22% profit in a week and a half. Who would have thought, right? Hertz, be a runaway stock. This is a corrective move. We got in here at 1371. Look at that thing go. Got a long way to go. You can still get into Hertz. STX, I told you before, we're short on Seagate. It's down another 2.71. We're at stunning profit on this thing, 21% on the shares. It's pretty nice. All right, so I don't think we're going to get anything else out of the FOMC. I did want to make you an offer. If you like what's going on here, we've been looking at live charts, right? So here's the deal. If you like what you saw in the room here, you thought it was interesting. I really have two key services, right? I have a live trading room every morning, Monday through Thursday for an hour and a half. We go 9:15 to 10:45 Eastern time. So we're there before the open. We analyze it and take picks, just like we're doing right here. If you're not able to attend or whatever, I do offer a stock and option pick service where I publish trades, right? Detailed trade parameters. And so you can take a 30-day trial to both of them for $59 during this session. If only so this is only available while we're on the line. Once we hang up, right? You're welcome to go to the website and sign up, but it's a lot more expensive. And let me go ahead and put the link here. So that's a good deal. Karen is a customer. She's given a testimony there that it's well worth the money. So you get 30 days of the trading room and the stock and options pick. And by the way, there's no auto renewal. So you get 30 days. You buy that a one-time payment, and then at the end of that, I'll make you an offer. You go, hey, do you want to go with the picks? You want to go with the room? You want to bundle them both? You get discount offer, but it's not auto renewing. You're not signing up for a commitment. $59 for 30 days. But only during this session. Once I hang up, it's over. Right? So a little bit of detail. I'm getting great returns on my stock picks. I'm not trying to brag, and nobody's getting rich. So you're going to see these ads from different advisors and educators, right? About wow, you can put up $100 and make 500 every day trading futures or something. Yeah, I hope that works out. We're getting solid returns year after year. We're blowing away the indexes. We're doing it with low risk, right? A key thing I do here is manage risk, manage the trade. So, we've blown away the indexes. When the market's trending hard, we beat it. When the market's going down, we're still profitable, right? Last year was up and down, up and down. We still managed to get 25% out, over double what the indexes did. We're 30% ahead of the indexes this year, right? Even though the S&P's been bullish, about half our trades are bearish, are short, and we're still beating the indexes. All my trade details, I try to be completely transparent. Here's every trade I took last year, right? We're getting ready to put up the detail, right, for this year. So that's my performance on the stock pick service, 1 to 2 picks per week. We're in them about 4 to 6 weeks. And a big part of that is risk control, risk management. I showed you the stats for the trading room, and again, several members of the room are here. If I were saying we're doing it, we weren't. They have the ability to comment publicly. But we've taken 26 trades since March and a 23% return on that. On the stock picks, I take every one of those picks with my own money. In the trading room, I call out more trades than I can possibly take, right? But I take many of them, like I just demonstrated on that Norfolk Southern trade. So I'm in that with real money. Thanks, John. You can make that comment public if you want. John says he loves my service. Yeah. So that's the picks, the trading room again. Over the picks, 1 to 2 picks per week. I include details for options or shares, however you want to do it, right? You get a weekly call. Wednesday nights, we call in, talk about how they're playing out. You get an update over the weekend, right? I'm in that every step of the way until we close the trade. And then live trading room, we do just what we did here. We analyze the futures, the news, see what's going on. We identify great picks, right? The room runs Monday to Thursday, 6:15 to 7:45 a.m., 9:15, 10:45 Eastern. And we do a little bit of training. We answer questions. We look at your ideas, and we find good trades. Yeah, Donna is asking, missed my answer about whether I mainly trade calls or puts or spreads. Yeah, I go long calls. I go long puts. I do not trade spreads. Right? I think I don't think I've proven, right, that buying options, and I know you can go read articles, go, oh, 80% of option buyers lose money. Well, yeah, if you hold it to expiration and let it expire worthless, that's a dumb strategy, right? If we hit the stop, I get out, right? And I never let an option contract expire, right? So we buy low, sell high. And so I believe, and I've proven, to myself anyway, that buying options for directional, trend or swing trades is the lowest risk, highest profit approach. So people can agree with that. You can disagree with that, but that's my story. Yeah, to get that $59 deal, I'm posting the link again here in the chat window, right? So there's a link. It's on the screen, tinyurl.com, FMT-726 today dash bundle. 59 bucks. You get the trading room and the stock picks, 30 days, no renewal. You can decide at the end if you want to continue. So there you go. Pat says I seem to stay ahead of the theta decay. That's right. I'm out of it before we get into that 30-day rapid decay window. Got to put that screen back up that shows all that you get with. So there's the live trading room details. There's 2 screens here with the stock pick details. I'm not sure which one you wanted. Hey JQ, you're welcome. Thanks for showing up. Linda, if you want to confirm before the webinar closes, you just go to that link that I've posted and go sign up. Right, go place your order. 59 bucks, but if you sign up before I hang up, you get the deal. After we're offline, it's over. Oh, we got some orders rolling in. Nice. Thank you. I think you're going to be happy. And oh, by the way, it's a money back guarantee. I forgot to put that on a slide. You know what? You sign up, you don't like it, not for me. Send me a note, give me a call. I'll give you your money back. You know, I only, I really want people to be happy. I don't want anybody walking around grumpy, unhappy with my service. And it says so on the order form. There's a confirmation, right? You sign up, spend 59 bucks for 30 days to check it out. During that 30 days, you go, hey, Dean, just wasn't a good fit, not my thing. No hard feelings, no questions. Send your money back, man. Nina, can you pay now and start the second week of September? Yeah, just go ahead and sign up and then send me a note so I can go adjust that in your record. Okay, if you're going to travel or something and you want your full 30 weeks, but you want to get the deal, that's totally cool. But just send me a note, okay, and I will adjust it for you. You're going to get a welcome email when you sign up, and just respond back to that. Dean at Follow Me Trades, but you'll get a note from me. There's my want to get a little money into your account? Yeah, you bet. Craig says, sound like a fair and reasonable person. I try, man. I really try. My very first job was at a gas station of all places, and the guy that ran it he was the best teacher. He just demanded outstanding customer service. Every car that came in, uh, I'm trying to multitask. Every car that came in, man, we had to wash the window, check the oil, check the air in the tires. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Uh, and it was just beaten to me, not beaten, but um, taught at a very early age to provide good customer service, and that nothing else was acceptable. So to your comment that I seem like a reasonable guy, you gotta check out this review. So this site, tradingschools.org, right? He just pretty much slams everybody in this industry, calls out the hucksters and phonies and all that stuff. Um, he's tough. He's got an incredible story. He used to run a boiler room, went to prison for it, you know, and is trying to redeem himself. And he can spot a fraud from a mile away. And he did a really nice review on me. This is a follow up. He's reviewed me twice. So you can go read this, right? You got external uh, validation on this. So here's a link to that. And it's really good fun reading, not just my review, but if you go read the other ones, right? He's hilarious. But underneath that is um, it's serious. He's scorched earth, man. If he thinks you're out cheating people, it's gonna hurt. David, that's where he found me. Cool. Jim, if you can't attend the live trading room, can you get the email the trades? If you take this deal, you're going to get the stock picks, which you don't have to show up for, right? Those come out to you. They're on a website. You get alerts. So that may be a better service for you. But you get them both, and then at the end of the 30 days, you just pick which one is a better fit. So there's that, man. Well, I'm going to leave the screen up here. Linda says trading forex at present when I need to set up an options account. Yeah, you would need to fund an equities account and have options authorized in it. Hey, Nagesh, thank you. Thank you for showing up. Everybody for, part of your time. I hope you found it valuable. The FOMC result was a wash, but we were ready, weren't we? Yeah, nothing happened in here. We were ready. Nina, great. Hey, glad to have you on board. Hey, Greg, thank you. Yeah, it's a good day. We got some nice trades going. Anything popping right now? Peek over here at our positions. IPXL, I talked about now. It's up 2%. Seagate's down almost 3. Twitter's giving us a little headache. We're long Twitter. It's been hovering around break even. See, not every trade wins, and don't, but here we got, well, I said 10 trades, 2 are underwater barely. Some of these are in really nice profit. Well, thank you, Doris. You're amazing too. Josephine, thank you. R. Brown, what's the following monthly charges for the room? Yes, you get to take the trial for both 30 days for $59. The room is $59 a month ongoing is what you're going to get offered. The list price on my website $79. You'll get it for $59. At the end of the 30 days, you'll get an automatic email that says, hey, if you want to sign up, here's your sign up, keep going. The picks are $97 a month, which is a discount from the list price as well. Chris, how many tips are stocks rather than options? So they're all stocks. So every pick is a stock, and about 95% of them have an alternative option play if you'd like to trade it that way. But every single trade you get can be traded by buying or selling shares. Everything's based on the stock chart, the underlying stock. And if there's a great stock chart, then there's typically a corresponding option play on it. How many stocks picks are discussed in the trading room? Kind of like here, we may look at 10 or 20 ideas. Out of 10 or 20, we're going to find 2 or 3 good trades. Chris, do I suggest straddles and strangles? I don't do straddles, strangles. I don't do strange flying creatures, butterflies, condors, iron, this or that. It's a straight, I keep it as absolutely simple as possible, right? Because I want to know exactly what the reward is potential reward and exactly what the potential risk is. I don't want any chance of expiration. I don't want any chance of being assigned, right? And I don't want the fixed profit, the absolute maximum fixed profit that you get with a straight, spread, where the most you're ever going to get is the credit up front, right? If that thing runs, I want to make a lot of profit. If it doesn't go well, I want a very tiny loss. So going long calls, going long puts, for me, that's what works. All right, Nina, thank you. Thanks for showing up. I'll keep fielding questions for as long as you got them. Again, once we go ahead and hang up, then the BOGO, get both of them, both services for $59, and that deal's over. So I will stay for as long as you want me to, and as long as the orders are coming in. We got a pretty good number of them. Thank you. I'm going to go on mute here, get a little coffee. I'll be back in like 3 to 5 minutes. I'll leave this link up on the screen. We'll stay online. And if you got any questions, just type them in like you have been. It's awesome. Hey, I'm back if you got any other questions. I'll just hang out here online. We still got about 100 people logged in. So if you're wanting to hit that link, I'll go ahead and post it one more time for you. Keep it close there in the chat window. Check it out, and I'll just hang here. If you got questions or anything else you want to look at, I'm yours. Just let me know. What are my ideas? What are my thoughts on selling cash secured puts as a stock buying strategy? Cash secured puts. So when I know what a covered put is, I don't know if I understand the cash secured, meaning you got a naked put. Okay, a naked put. Don't like it. Don't like it. Not as risky as a naked call, right? But you can still get assigned, right? And what that means is you have to go have cash allocated to cover that assignment, right? And if I'd rather have my cash deployed in trades. And then if you get assigned, you got to go liquidate stuff maybe when you don't want to. It forces your hand. Where if you're a buyer of options, you're in the driver's seat. You decide when things happen. I never exercise them. Right? I buy them and then I sell them, and I only buy them and sell them in highly liquid markets so that I can get a good price when I buy it and I can get out when I want out. What I do, like on this NSC trade, let's go look at the chart. Is it NSC or NCS? No, it is NSC. What we're going to do is I'll go ahead and color code my chart here while we're online. So my stop line is red. Got a nice bright red, a little bit bold. I gotta refine these levels. I'm going to find the exact price bar values and refine it. So here's my entry. And here's my, oops, that's my entry. The right color, Dean. And here is my target. Target is green. So on the way down, I've got a specific method for managing the trade. So as this moves on, I'm going to be taking profit along the way and try and get it. I'm going to stay with it for as long as we got a trend. If it goes up and hits the stop, I'm going to close the option position, right? I'm going to close the trade automatically. And if we get within 30 days of the expiration date, I'm going to close it as well. So I'm not going to let theta decay, price decay, take away premium and profit. And if I hit the stop, I'm going to go close it. I'm not holding on to it. And it'll typically be for a very small loss relative to the size of the win, right? So that's how we manage these trades, and it works out really, really well with options. Why options versus just trading the shares? Somebody asked earlier, how many of the trades are stocks versus option? 100% of them are stocks. 95% have option plays as an alternative. You tie up a lot less cash. You got leverage, typically 10 to 1, right? To go buy 100, to go sell short 100 shares of NSC at 114 would be about $11,000, right? I got $2,000 in the trade. That's pretty good leverage. And by the way, if it hits the stop, I'm going to lose less in absolute dollar terms on the option trade, right? I'll probably lose $300 or $400 if it hits the stop. If it happened On the shares, I'm probably going to lose about $2,000. Oh, R Brown, how many years do you still plan to trade? Well, I'm 55 and I'm having a great time. I'm having fun. So as long as it's working and as long as it's fun, right? I figure at least 5 more doing this service and then we'll see. Currently looking at some strategies to get a few more team members. I don't want a big company, big headache, but a couple team members that I trust and are like-minded help out with it. Well, it looks like it's slowing down a little bit. We're at 12:01. At 12:05, I'm going to go ahead and make it a wrap here. So if you're still looking, you're still interested in the offer, you got about 5 minutes to get that done, and then we're going to go ahead and hang up. Chris, on the daily webinars, the daily trading room, do I show? Absolutely. We give absolute details on every trade. Entry, the entry price, the stop price, the target price, what we're going to pay for options. So you see this this grid shows the absolute complete parameters of every trade, right? Here's the entry price for this portfolio, which is a $50,000 model portfolio, right? How many shares, what the current stop price is, what the target price is, what price we're taking profit at once, twice, what the current P&L on the trades are. You see, we've only got one underwater right now. And I update this, I load this every day. And so if you miss the room, can't be there every day, you got stuff going on in your life. So subscribers can log in here. Oops, that is not what I wanted. I got to go do that. Sorry. Log out as an admin. Here's the point I want to make. You can log in as a subscriber. I got a test account here. And here's the live trading room page. And every week, here's the link, right, for the coming week to register. So in case you don't get the email or it goes to spam. And then what we got here is, here's the open trade. So that page I just showed you, or that screen in TradeStation, I put this on a spreadsheet. So here's the watch list, trades that are not triggered, right? We uploaded it this morning. That one's 2 days old because nothing changed. This one, I think we uploaded this morning, the open trade list. So all those details from the trades are listed here. So you can come access this anytime outside the room hours that you want. Okay, and if you miss a session and you want to go watch the video, right? There it is. These still are waiting to be uploaded. Here's last week. Did I mention I'm looking to hire a team? There's a lot of work to do. So here's last week, right? We got every day's video. And this one's being recorded. It's going to be posted there. So we got a video every day. Right. So there you go, man. Yes, we explain why. So Chris says he signed up, totally excited. Hey, I'll look forward to seeing you there. We totally explain why we're taking the trades. Now, again, detailed training on my trade method is, I offer a course on that. And if you want to check out the room for a while, get comfortable. Wait, that's cool. There's a nice comment from EJ to everybody, kind of answering your question, Chris. Jim missed it, came in late. So average trades 4 to 6 weeks for our long term. We do occasionally take a short term, which is about 2 days to a week. And what's my win rate? So the current live trading room win rate is right here. I showed this spreadsheet. So since March, we kind of did a new tracking method and new approach to the trading room. So here's every trade we took in March. Since March, we've closed 26 of them. We've got a 54% win rate, but more importantly, we've got a 2.2 to 1 payout ratio. So the winners are 2.2 times bigger than the losers, giving us in a $50,000 account as of March, from March till now, almost a 24% win rate or profit. And if we take a snapshot, if we were to go close our open trades right now, there's all of our open trades. If we were to go close these right now, say, okay, we're done. Let's just take our profit, right? Then what would that be? Paste. Sum those up. And again, a lot of the trading room members are here, and they could call me out if I were making this up. They watch me take these trades day in, day out. So there's another 76.22 in profit snapshot of open trades. If we were to add that, we would be at 30. We'd be at $19,000 profit, which would take us up over a 40% profit. So that's where we're at performance-wise, Jim. And it's real, right? Full transparency. Every trade listed, done right in front of you. You're welcome, Chris. Okay, we are at 12:06. Looks like the questions and comments are slowing down. So going once, going twice. This offer was good until we hang up. You know, you can always go to the website and sign up at list prices. Love to have you, but this get both the live trading room and the stock and option picks for 30 days for $59. It was only during this session. And again, you take this offer, you can figure out which one's best for you. And at the end, you're going to get an offer to continue with one of them or both of them. You get a bundle price. So it's a really good value, really good deal. Okay, well, going once, going twice. We're going to go and hang up unless anybody types in. Goes, hold on. Thank you, John. Chris, thank you. Look forward to meeting you in the room, Chris. Thanks, EJ and the other members for the nice comments. And I think that's it. Well, hey, have a great day. Trade safe. Use risk control. You know, whatever system you're using, keep your winners big, your losers small, and have fun. Trading's supposed to be fun, and more so when we're winning, right? Thank you again for showing up, and hope to see you next time. All right, bye-bye.